Moving on to the games on, I think, what is it? Is it Saturday and Monday?
I believe you would be correct, yes.
Saturday and Monday, we're playing the Washington Wizards, they're hot. They're 7-3 in the last 10 games. But I think, after acquiring Russell Westbrook, I know at least I was thinking, oh, well, Russell Westbrook is kind of a more explosive, more athletic John Wall, especially off the injury. And I was expecting kind of a little bit more from him. Before we get into the Bucks-Wizards preview per se, I just want to, gauge your opinion on, are the Washington Wizards the most disappointing team in the NBA up to this point in the first half?
I would say no. They may not have lived up to, the hype or the potential, but I never envisioned them doing too many things. Like, they don't have many good defenders on that team. You obviously have the elite tier scoring in Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, but other than that, there's nobody else really on that team. With Davis Bertans, come on, he's a good player, but I would say he's their third best player, and I see him as a really good role player, at least at this point in his career. And Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook aren't the type of players like LeBron or Steph Curry who can carry these less than average, maybe middle of the pack teams into playoff spots.
Not anymore. No.
I think Bradley could, if the Wizards got him just another above average starter. I think he could carry the team. He's scoring doesn't he lead the league in scoring? It's over 30 points. I know that. And they're one of the worst teams in the league. How do you have a starter scoring that much and you're that bad?
33 a game.
And you're one of the worst teams in the league. Free Bradley Beal. Just hashtag free Bradley Beal.
Free Beal.
He's such a fun player to watch, and it's a shame that I don't want to say he's wasting his career, because I feel like that's just a complete diss to the Wizards. But it doesn't seem like that team is going to do much in the next upcoming years, and I feel like if he wants to be competitive, he's going to have to do it elsewhere. That team is definitely not living up to what I think many people thought, but I never thought that they were going to be a good team to begin with. I knew Bradley Beal was going to do his thing, especially after what we saw in the bubble and at the end of the season last year. He was phenomenal. One of the best players in the league, I think, for that stretch. Jamal Murray got so hot in the bubble.
Ridiculously hot, yeah.
I can't really think of a more disappointing team. Maybe the Heat, they just completely imploded. They're doing better now, but at the start of the season, they were terrible. Same with the Raptors. The Raptors were under 500, pretty bad for a while there. I never had high hopes for the Wizards to begin with, so I don't think that they disappointed me. But at the same time, what other team is there to say that they're that massively disappointing?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dallas as my most disappointing team.
Ooh, okay.
Porzingis has been hurt, but still, I think even without Porzingis, I kind of expected Dallas to do better than they have. But to touch on Washington, look, like I said, they're 7-3 in the last 10 games. You're starting to figure it out. Russell Westbrook did miss 5 games so far this season, and they were awful in those games that he missed. But I think it's important to think, even though I did say Russell Westbrook is a more explosive John Wall, it is still John Wall with more athleticism on that team. And they were not very good when John Wall and Bradley Beal were both healthy. They had some playoff appearances, but they never got deep into the playoffs. So,
which is so sad.
It is. And that they had a solid roster at a time, but that's just not where they're at right now. You touched on it. Their third highest scorer, I think, is Bertans. And he is their third best player. And just listen to some of the guys that they're playing with, outside of their top 2 guys and Bertans, Danny Avdija, he could be a good player, but he's a rookie,
He's very good in 2K.
Very good in 2K, and an overseas guy, so like he has promise, but he's developing. Robin Lopez is not on the Bucks for a reason. You know what I mean? He's a worse version of his brother. And
I miss Rolo.
Yeah, for sentimental value, I agree, but I don't. Mo Wagner, like, the guy that gets dunked on religiously throughout his career. I mean, that's who they're playing with. Garrison Matthews. Do you know who that is? Jerome Robinson. Like, these are players that are they're top 5 scorers on the team, and like, if you ask any casual fan, they have no clue who they are. Even some fans who are pretty well versed in NBA wouldn't know who Garrison Matthews is. You know what I mean?
It's also tough because they lost Thomas Bryant early in the season. I think he's out for the year, right?
Yeah, they're starting center, yes, and he's a good center. And
I think
lost
with him. They would have been competitive, but Rui Hachimura is having a good. I think sophomore year. He's in his second year. He's doing okay, but
he's okay.
I think he's their third highest scorer, and at 12.5 points a game on not good efficiency from the 3-point range.
It's not good enough. Not good enough roster around those guys, and obviously, like, you make the best of a situation when you're put there, but like, it's just not a good situation. Washington has been a good situation for a while, if we're being honest. And like you said, free Bradley Beal. This guy averaging 33 points a game is, without question, one of the best. What would you say? He's definitely a top 10 scorer in the NBA. I'd hesitate to put him top 5 because, like, then we're going into Durant, LeBron, Steph, Dame territory, and I don't think he's quite there, but he's up there. And when you've got a guy like Russell Westbrook, look, Russell Westbrook gets the most unreasonable hate online that I've ever seen of any player ever. And what does that say? Free Bradley Beal. Yes. Hashtag comment below in the video, free Bradley Beal. Start the movement and get it going on Twitter, please.
Send him to the Bucks.
Send him to the Bucks for who? We'll give you Robin's brother Brooke. We'll give you DJ Wilson and Dante DiVincenzo in the second round pick.
We're gonna keep Dante, and we'll give you 2 seconds. 2 seconds
and a third.
And DJ Wilson, Bradley Beal. Who says no?
And a third round pick. That does not.
Third round pick. The Packers will give the Washington football team a third round pick in return for Bradley Beal.
And we will give the owner of the Wizards lifetime seats in the upper deck at the Packer game for Bradley Beal. Hashtag free Bradley Beal. But look, like I was saying, like, Russell Westbrook gets way too much hate. The guy is averaging 20 plus points, 9.5 rebounds, almost 10 assists. He's almost averaging a triple double again. That's going to be his overwhelming legacy as a player.
He's a walking triple double. It's ridiculous. It's so crazy.
That's 6'4" with shoes. It's ridiculous. And he's like 30 years old. He's still doing that. Like, come on, Brooke. Look at that guy. Get some rebounds, please. I mean, like, it's so frustrating. Get some rebounds, Brooke. But, they are disappointing. I would say the Mavericks are more disappointing, but I think if you ask anybody in Washington, yeah, they were definitely expecting a better season, which brings me to the games that we have against Washington, which I think will be pretty non-competitive. But you never know. The Wizards did beat the Brooklyn Nets, so I mean, they have some competitors on that team for sure. But just looking at that game, just kind of give us your thoughts about that game and how you kind of see that game going for us, both of them.
I see either Beal or Westbrook probably going off. I think it just depends on who Drew Holiday is going to be guarding. I suspect, and I am incredibly optimistic, that Drew is going to be 100% by Saturday. So I think he's going to be playing at what we know, like all NBA type defense. I hope he guards Bradley Beal just because, Beal can just shoot from anywhere on the court pretty much. Westbrook really isn't too much of a threat from three. So I think that if the Bucks can play around that and just leave Drew to deal with Beal, I think the Bucks will be in a really good spot. I do not see the Wizards having any answer for Giannis. Like, absolutely none. We already know the the hate between Davis Bertans and Giannis from last year. I don't remember too much about it, but some words were. I want to say, is that the guy that he headbutted?
I think so. Yeah, Giannis has kind of had a few run-ins with people, but yeah, that was definitely one of them.
It's been multiple times with Bertans. I think he does not like him, and I don't even think this is a bold prediction, but over the course of those two games, I think Giannis is going to have 70-plus points combined. Like, I think he's going to hit 30 in both of them, and I would not be surprised if he hit 40 at least once. Just who is going to stop him? You got Davis Bertans, Rui Hachimura, and Robin Lopez.
Alex Len.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, Giannis.
He's
0 for 20.
He's punched it on his head before. Giannis has punched it on Alex Len's head. I'm not worried about him.
I think Giannis is going to have a few posters over the course of those two games, but at the same time, I don't think that they're going to try and stop him. If he's moving, they're going to get out of the way. Like, none of them are strong enough to even, I think, attempt to stop him from getting to the net. Like, maybe try and take a charge, or like try to foul him and make him shoot from the free throw line, which by all means, go ahead. He's shooting amazingly from the free throw line in the past month. But like, you don't have anyone. They have no defenders. I cannot name one respectable defender. Maybe Rui Hachimura. I don't know too much about his game, but they're starters. Bradley Beal and Westbrook. Westbrook is okay. Beal, that's never been a part of his game. He's kind of like Zach LaVine. Like, he's just a complete walking bucket, but the defense is just
good comparison.
Not there.
Yep.
Rui Hachimura, like I said, I don't know too much about his game. I don't think he's a terrible defender, but like, you don't have an elite defender who's gonna stop Giannis. Like, even the elite defenders don't 100% stop Giannis. Like, you say that like the Heat last year, they stopped Giannis. Did they? The man still scored 20+ points in a double-double with like 5 assists. If that's stopping, you slowed him down, sure. They don't have anyone to even slow him down. I think, you know what? I'm changing my prediction. 80+ points in those two games for Giannis. 80+ points.
All right. I'm going 90+ points. Giannis is putting up. Listen to this. I'm serious, too. I'm not just trying to one up your 80. Giannis is putting up 45 on Thursday or Saturday. 45 plus. Okay? Trust me on that, because we're gonna destroy the Knicks. He's not gonna have to play, but more than like 27, 28 minutes. He's gonna still be fresh, and he's going for 45 on Saturday, and then he's topping that to 47 on Monday. He's gonna be firmly in the number 1 or 2 spot, depending on who you talk to in the MVP discussion after this weekend and Monday. That's first of all. And the reason why I have so much confidence in that, the Wizards do not play any defense. They are the Houston Rockets of old of the Eastern Conference. They are super good on offense, second highest scoring offensive team. Do not play any defense, okay? They are awful. And part of that is because, like you said, injuries, but also they do not have a rim protector. They do not. They don't have a big man who can defend on the inside. They just don't. Alex Len is their best interior defender, and like I said, Giannis kind of just owns that guy. Not to mention, as you said, Davis Bertans, Giannis hates that dude, all right? And who else does he not like in the NBA, I would say? What? What's that face?
Oh, so I was curious of the defenders on the Wizards, and their best defender with a 109 defensive rating is Alex Len.
Yeah.
It's respectable, but when your best defender plays, I don't know, like 18 minutes a night, like their starters, Let's see. All right, so Rui Hachimura, really not that good of a defender. Beal is not. Based off a defensive rating, Westbrook is one of their best defenders based off a defensive rating. So like, if Westbrook is up there, yeah, you know what? He's respectable, but you look at the scorers that the Bucks have. Drew, Dante is shooting career highs 3-point percentage. Chris Middleton, 50, 40, 90 club. Giannis, even Brook can stretch the floor. Pat off the bench, Bobby off the bench, Bryn Forbes. They got buckets and no defenders, as you said. Like,
yeah, it's going to be a long night for them. It's going to be a long 2 nights for them, actually. And you said Dante, you brought up Chris, and this might be a big game for DJ Augustine, too. They don't defend the three at all. They allow the second most three-pointers in the league. And then you said, well, put them at the line. Good luck. Well, guess what? They put teams at the line more than any team in the NBA. So they're either going to be – it's going to be like Sunday night when Giannis is just dunking it every single time he's in the paint, or they're going to have to foul him. And then, yes, he's been shooting very well at the line, so good luck doing it that way. You know, the hacky Giannis, good luck doing that because he's been shooting almost 80% over the last, few weeks at least. Like
in February, he's 75%, which is, that's where I would like him to be.
Yeah, that's more than acceptable, especially for a guy that's been at 63% all year, something around there. So
it was bad.
Good luck, man. Good luck to the Wizards. They've been hot lately. Their hot streak is turning ice cold starting on Saturday, and Drew Holiday is going to, I believe, be on. Probably Bradley Beal. I think that is a good matchup for us. And then either Dante could take Russ, Chris kind of slow for Russ. So I imagine that Dante is going to be on Russ. Chris can always use his body on Russ, but I'd like to see Dante on him. And unless Russell Westbrook has one of those anomaly performances like he did against Brooklyn, where he's shooting threes and he's hitting them and he's hitting that pull-up jumper. You look at the roster up and down, and they don't have it. They don't. Rui is good, but like you said, 13 points a game or whatever? That's not very good. It's just not. Bertans as your third option. That's pretty awful. And nobody on this roster besides Beal and Westbrook give me even any kind of hesitation to think oh yeah, they have a chance with us. So huge games for Giannis. Huge games for the teams in general. Brook Lopez will own the matchup against his brother Robin, and hopefully get more than 4 rebounds. We can only hope. And we will have a solid game. I'm going to say we win this game 142 to 125. The first game, I'm going to say Monday. We take it a little easier on him. Giannis has 47, but he only has to play maybe 30 minutes. And we win 133 to 120.
So if my math is correct, we have the Bucks going 3-0 over the next 3 games.
Oh, yeah, and it will not stop there, but we'll get into that next week.